Hi, everyone. My name is Smriti P, and I am a mentor with Magic and also a software engineer at Google. And today I'm really excited to be interviewing the mentee mentor pair of Ava and Laney. So, congratulations, you two. Yeah, you just had the final presentations. We'll start off by I'll ask Ava to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Ava Ferrantino. I'm a senior at the Marymount School of New York.
Thanks. And Laney?
Hi, I'm Laney Strange. I'm a computer science professor at Northeastern University here in Boston.
Awesome. So, Ava, your project was a password generator, and I was just saying that I am definitely guilty of using terrible passwords everywhere, but I wanted to hear a little bit about your project and your inspiration behind it.
Yeah, so I said this in my presentation, but I got the inspiration from my aunt who lives in California. And when I was visiting over the summer, she told me that she has the same password for every account that she has. And she knows that I like to code. So she told me to code an app that can solve that problem.
Yeah. Did you have kind of any experience or interest in this security realm before?
No, but my mom was telling me to research cybersecurity actually, and I was going to do a program over the summer, but I didn't have as much time for that. But yeah, I have other experience with Swift. I in freshman year I took an iOS app development course, and I developed a rock paper scissors game against the computer, and I really enjoyed coding with Swift, so I wanted to continue that.
That's really fun. Was there anything about, you had to figure out how you were generating these passwords and like the kind of formula or algorithm to use for that? Did you read things online? Did you pick Lainey's brain? How did you kind of go about figuring that out?
Yeah, I mean, there were many ways. Lainey helped me a lot with that. Specifically, she told me to generate random strings with for loops, which I researched more on my own. And yeah, for loops has always been the thing that I struggle with the most in coding, and I usually forget that that they're there and they're really helpful. So yeah, that was an important part of it. And I researched a lot of other ways, but I think that way with the for loop was the easiest way to do it.
Cool, cool. Lainey, a question for you. So you mentioned you're a computer science professor, so you probably have had experience in security and or app development, but what did you bring in from your background and what was maybe new to you also?
Um, I actually have not done a ton of app development myself. And I told Ava many times, like I know she really wanted to make it look a lot better and work on the design. I'm like, I really can't help you with that because I have never made anything pretty in my entire life. I'm strictly a back end kind of a person. Um, but I think actually one of the parts that I tried to bring to the table that I think might not always be part of this discussion was we talked about Ava even mentioned combinatorics in her presentation. And so when you have a
Right.
password generator, um, whatever rules you set up for a password, you always want to know how many possible passwords you're allowing to create because a hacker can just try a bunch of different stuff. And what makes things like that secure is the amount of things they would have to try. So we spend some time talking about how do we calculate that? And is that going to be like a secure number? And I think that's an interesting part of the discussion is, you make a password secure, not just by mixing up the numbers and letters and special characters, but also by making it one of many possible ones.
Yeah, that's super cool. Ava, I think I even dabbled in security when I was like deep into college. So I think it's really cool that you're thinking about all of this, in high school. So kudos to you there. Is there anything that surprised you as you were maybe on the security side, maybe while you've developed apps before, but there's always so much to learn. Was there anything that was surprising?
Yeah, specifically talking about the security, I was researching how you can make apps secure, and there were like four different ways, which were kind of confusing, but the one that I found to be the easiest was the data protection API. And I didn't get to implement those yet, but I want to in the future. But yeah, I read this whole, I don't know how, it was a very long article on security, and that was really helpful.
That's cool. Reading technical articles is like a skill in its own, I think, and understanding what's going on in those papers. Awesome. So you mentioned that might be something you want to do in the future. Is there anything else you want to add, any more features to the app?
Yeah, I also want to add, well, I want to research a little bit of UI design, so I can make the app look the way I want it, because it's in the basic format right now, which is just like the starter format. So I want to make it pretty looking.
Nice. Do you think you had any inspiration or even from before other ideas that you might want to do if it's an app or in the security space or anything else in that realm?
Yeah, well, I was working on a website that I know someone else did a project where they turned their nonprofit into an app. So I was working with a nonprofit that had a website, and I think I'm going to continue working with them and work on their app, which will be fun.
That's awesome. Have you looked into Android apps at all? Or so you're kind of on the iOS platform, and I know Android is. I had a similar experience. I had like an iOS class in high school, and then I looked at Android. I was like, this is so different. Do you have any interest in exploring that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to, but I haven't yet. I do have like an Android tablet, and I know that the iOS and Android are very different. So I would be willing to do that in the future.
There are also, I guess, some cool like frameworks you can use to develop for both at the same time and stuff like that. Awesome. This is really cool. Couple more questions. I could keep asking questions, but we also have a time limit kind of. So Laney, I was wondering, is there anything you learned from, this session with Ava that you're hoping to take into you for future mentorships?
Oh, that's a really good question. I feel like as I sort of mentioned in my intro, Ava has a lot going on. She has a super busy life, like way busier than mine. And I think and it's different than when I was that age way back in the day. And I think remembering to sort of respect that, and I was so appreciative of how hard she worked, and we rearranged our meetings a bunch of times, but we always like meet at work, and just her ability to focus and concentrate and get stuff done amid a lot of stuff that was going on, I thought was so impressive. And I'm going to try to hold on to that for everyone I work with in the future.
That's wonderful. That's super cool that you all had that kind of relationship and could, I feel the same way as a mentor, that you're always learning new things from each other. Ava, last question for you. Do you have any advice for future mentees?
Yeah, well, I actually learned about this program through other girls in my school who I think they graduated. So, and I was talking to them about it, and they had a really great time with this program. So I would say if you really enjoy STEM, then this is an amazing program for you. And yeah, I feel like that's the main thing that I would recommend.
All right. Thank you. Well, thank you so much to both of you for your time, and congratulations to both of you on a fantastic project and relationship that you all have had this summer. Thanks.
Thank you, Smriti.
Bye.
Nice job, Ava. Bye.
Bye.